All right, it's June 24th at 5:30, 2019. This is the Finance Committee meeting and is being recorded. We have all our members here tonight. Gloria, Tom and Pat, myself, John. Still one member short. Is there any public comment? There's no public here again.
Take a number, please.
I tell you, anybody that has to complain about finances, never show up here.
Downstairs, first floor, Tuesdays?
Really.
Yeah, keep them down at your meeting.
Thanks. Maybe we should move our meeting up here.
They'll switch your...
So Vicky's not here, so let's...
Yeah, we're going to switch things around a little bit. We really have no old business, so we'll get right to the, there's a personnel, review personnel change forms. This is a form, we've already signed these once, but they had to get tweaked a bit, updated because of the retroactive pay.
Yeah, the first time around, it changed the pay from $11 to $12.
Right.
But it wasn't written on it that it was supposed to be retroactive to
right.
January 1st.
Which I believe we talked about it, but it's not on there.
It's not on there.
Right. So I'd like to take a vote on this, just all four at once, that we sign this off and accept them as is. Is there a motion to?
A motion made to sit there and approve the retroactive to January 1st edition.
Seconded. I would have a fast look at you.
Oh, sure can.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And why is it going retro?
That was, they have the money in the budget, and that was actually, this is, even though we're not mandated to follow minimum wage,
Right.
that was the date that the minimum wage
It gets them
changed.
up to minimum.
So they want to bring them back to that.
To that date. Correct.
Right, and it's been budgeted, so.
Yeah.
And all four are $11 to $12 an hour.
Correct. Pretty cheap.
That's the minimum wage now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
$12.
federal is only 7 something.
And we don't have
Seven and a quarter.
to, and technically, we don't have to
Someone
comply
looked at
because
that.
of being a municipality.
Yeah.
We could keep it at 11, and they can't do anything about it, which is kind of poor, kind of shameful, but,
They could leave.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know why they stick around. But,
Yeah, we talked about it, that they're not all, it's not like they're working every day, they're all substitutes.
right,
Correct.
right.
Okay.
So we have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Did you sign them
Unanimous.
originally?
I did. I'm just going to re-initial them.
Yeah, we figured that if each board now initials them
Oh,
clearly.
Should I put a date as well, the today's date?
Yeah, initial it and date it.
And we can reference back for minutes.
And maybe put for retro next to it. It'll be clear.
Oops.
I'm assuming you...
Yes. Bring those for our signatures tomorrow night.
Pass them on to PB.
Approval of the finance minutes for June 3rd. And I had looked them over. I didn't see any issues. Looks all in order.
A motion made to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Pat wasn't here.
I'm going to be abstaining from the vote.
Okay.
I do have a question though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
On the new business, This just says to discuss, but we approved those transfers.
You're right.
Correct.
I will,
Did not catch that. That can be amended. We'll just, we'll need a motion to accept it with the...
How are you?
so a motion's made to amend, saying Finance Committee approved budget transfers of $116,171.25. I'll add that language in.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
It's unanimous.
Nope, he abstained.
Oh, I'm sorry. 3. One, 3,
Your names of the people that were here.
Exactly. Well, we'll go back to, new business with Vicki. We'll go over that next. You're here and ready to go.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Does everybody know Vicki, Tom?
Yes.
Last time?
I don't
Okay.
think we've officially met, but
Yes, Pat Monahan.
yes,
Did you bring copies?
I do have copies.
I didn't even have a chance to really look at
That's
them,
okay.
literally.
Oh, there are 2 sheets. Okay.
There's 2 sheets, yeah.
I'll pass that one.
Did I leave them?
Okay. Okay. You got one?
Oh,
If you had
Does everyone have one more?
no, I can make
We
another
can
copy
share.
out of
We can share here. We can share.
Sure.
They play nice.
You already saw half these anyway, so.
Yeah.
So the first set of transfers for the end of year will be the ones that are highlighted. You can't see the highlight, but that are darker. So, just to reiterate, at the end of each fiscal year between May 1st and July 15th, we are able by DOR statutes to transfer budget line items within the same department, within other departments. There's no limitation. There used to be a 3% limit up to $5,000 that you were were able to transfer, but since the new Municipal Modernization Act, they said it doesn't matter anymore. And so these transfers I had brought to the select board last time, which was the 18th, 19th, the day after your meeting. Because I had some other ones, and I thought, well, if they approved them then you could approve them now, and we wouldn't be like so far behind the 8 ball. So I'm going to just go through this line by line like I did last time.
I got a question though.
Certainly.
You got a total of 137,000?
Oh, I hid the columns on the top just to print this out because this also has the ones you guys approved before.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
This is in
Okay.
addition to
Got it.
the
Yes.
116
Yep,
or whatever it was that we did last time.
I just
Yep.
copied this piece so that you could just see
Okay.
this part, so you wouldn't get confused about the other ones that were already done.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Well, good question. Sometimes, you look at these over and over and over again, and then you're like, oh, how did I miss that? So the first one that's on here was requested by Ed to put in money to the health director's salary to pay the new rate from February at town meeting through the end of the fiscal year, which was going to be $5,389.32, which would get her from February until the end of the fiscal year on the new rate that Ed had come up with town council. That is going to come from admin assistant wages, because we don't, Ed hired his assistant late, and so there was leftover money in that wage line item. And then there's a little bit of money left in health agent wages, as Nicole found this year was a wet spring, and they were behind they weren't behind, but people didn't come forward looking for perk tests and everything because it was so wet. So she didn't use up all her wages till the end of the fiscal year. The next is...
Can we go back to this
Yep.
one? I remember, I think it was the
February town meeting.
February town meeting, there were 2 articles?
Correct.
Okay. And the first one had been approved, but the second one had been rejected.
Correct.
How does this relate to the second article?
It doesn't, but what happened was the funding from the second article was coming from a town rainy day fund, which
Yeah.
didn't seem appropriate
Uh-huh.
to take that and use towards salaries. So
Yeah.
that's why we
It got voted down.
got
It was
voted
2
down.
$5,000 pieces, wasn't it?
One was 5 and one
One was
was
like
10,000.
Right, right.
It didn't have to do with with just the whole idea of increasing the salary. It was just where the funding was coming from.
Our portion is from the finance committee was voted down because of where it was coming from, because we didn't like where it was coming from.
I think the town voted
Oh.
because of that and because of,
It could have been both.
I think it
but
was
our
both.
angle, was where the money was coming from, it didn't seem appropriate to put rainy day funds towards a wage. You know,
because you knew you'd put it in the budget for the next
it
year.
should be in the budget.
But it's
correct.
not.
But it's not for the
So-
budget next year, correct. So it's not budgeted for next year either, so.
I thought it was raining. I got the Jeep with the top off.
No,
It just looked like it.
I know, huh? Well, there's a guy working,
Oh, on the
he was
tree
working
stump.
around the gazebo and the
Landscaping?
landscaping around the gazebo and the lion sign, so he maybe had a,
Maybe.
Dusk going on. Oh, hose.
what was going?
Yeah, the select board level funded it for next year, and they've got to decide where the money goes, and how many people and all that.
When you say they level funded it, you mean
They did not get an increase.
they didn't? So in February, there was basically a third of the, or some portion of an increase was approved.
But, and back up, Ed did an equity adjustment based on a law, and legally, we had to pay that new
Okay.
rate.
Yeah.
So this funds that from February now,
Okay.
and come the new fiscal year, we level funded it, and
Okay.
they've got to decide if they want to decrease staff or decrease something somewhere.
Okay.
You know,
Decrease
a number of
hours.
hours, yeah.
Decrease staff, decrease hours.
Yeah. So what we approved is the health director's new hourly salary.
Okay, and by law, then, we're obligated to, even though it got voted down in February, we're obligated to do this, and Vicky's just finding the resources to do
I don't know that we're legally obligated,
And
but,
we feel we're obligated.
right,
Okay,
right, I don't know, there's the Pay Equity Act, I know Ed can speak more on it. So are we legally obligated? I do not know. I don't think it's been challenged yet.
But isn't there something in that law that says you can't cut other salaries or hours or something in order to make up for the
I
difference?
believe I heard that,
Yeah,
yes.
and that's why we felt that we were on kind of
Right.
shaky grounds, because if you give her the new hourly rate and then there's no money to fund it,
right.
you know, we talked about that select board and with Ed, we felt that fund this through the end of the year, that's our obligation.
Okay.
But you've level funded that position for the upcoming year.
The whole budget.
2020 is level funded for next
The
year.
budget is level funded.
Right.
What they do within that budget's up to them.
Without the increase.
Right. Her hourly increase will be there.
Right, the
But
hourly
you
wage will
can't
be
take
there.
hourly times the current number of hours and come up with a number that we approved. We approved level.
And it's up to them to figure out how they want to do it back and forth.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dice it however you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next amount is, I created a new account for extended illness benefits. So per our PPPB manual, personnel policy manual, we have a policy in there that if you are on leave, you get paid 75% of your salary for a certain length of time, up to 26 weeks. And so I thought it best if people were to take that in the future, that we should have a separate line item so we can track it a lot easier than trying to figure out who was out, who wasn't out, Jen running reports. It's kind of So this benefit was for the van driver for the COA van driver. He went out on knee surgery and originally anticipated, the COA director thought he would be out 8 weeks and he was actually out 12 weeks. So this is the balance of what we paid him for those last 4 weeks, which is gonna come out of their expenses, because they had like $1,389 in their expenses and they weren't planning on using that before the end of the fiscal year. So group health retiree insurance is our portion that we pay for retirees. The town has to pay 50% of their insurance, whatever they may take. And when we budget for insurances, for a retiree or rather regular insurance that the employees are on, this sounds horrible, but it's a guesstimate. I mean, you take what you spent last year, how many people you think might be added this year, if you know people are leaving at the end of like June and you know they're gonna come in July. Jen will add, the treasurer will add 2 or 3 people into the insurance piece, but the part about retirement is you don't know who's retiring. And you can't really ask people, hey, are you gonna retire this year? Because I need to put in benefits. So when we did the budget, because she was new last year, we did it based on what we had spent the year before, plus an extra person, and it just happened to be that, we'll be short $7,852.10. As with the group health insurance, we're short about $6,800, which can come from people switching plans, adding a plan, adding a family instead of being a single or a single plus one, those types of things. So those two, we're required to pay out those pieces of our health insurance. And part of that money is coming from the assessor admin assistant position, which there was $10,000 in there for this fiscal year. Martha and the board hired someone and she was here about a week and decided she didn't want to work. She really wanted to be retired. So she had some money left in there that she wasn't going to use before the end of the year. The same thing with the town clerk assistant. Lucy was interim and she didn't have an assistant for a little while, and she was off last year during the summer and took like 5 or 6 weeks off, so she didn't get paid for the time that she was off. So that frees up a little bit of money in that town clerk assistant wages.
On your group health retiree, is there also survivor benefits on those things too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then I took $1,000 from your reserve fund. Because insurance is kind of one of those things that we gotta pay, so.
Who's reserve fund?
Ours?
Finance committee.
We had one. Oh, next year we don't.
Next year, no.
Yeah, next year you can't do that.
No, so.
I can.
There's still, like $1,200 or $1,300 in there, but I just thought insurance, that would be a good
No, that
place
makes
to.
sense.
That's fine.
How much does the town pay for the group health insurance? What percentage?
70%, 70-30. And then they have to, by state statute, pay 50-50 for retirees, so.
And they can do any plan? Any plan they
Do we
want?
have a PPO in it?
We have a PPO and HMO, and then you have to have the PPO if you want the top Guardian Dental, I think.
Okay, but there's a selection that they...
But still a 70-30 split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
okay.
Right, and then the plan for the extended illness, that, you're just keeping track of that so in the future we can come up with some numbers, because right now you don't know. We had some estimates on getting
Talk about short-term disability.
short-term, long-term disability. You had nothing to compare, excuse me, nothing to compare it to, so.
No, and if if the town decides in the future they want to fund that particular line item, and put $10,000 in it thinking, well, that's what we spent over the last 3 years or 2 years or whatever,
Right.
and you don't use it, it just comes back to the town in free cash. So if you were to spend on short-term disability 10, 12, 13 grand, you pay it and no one uses it, we're out 13 grand, so.
Yeah, it's like budgeting. Yeah.
And kind of it too is, we
It's-
wouldn't have to administer that as much, but
Right. It's tough though, because there's no lifeline the way it is right now, where, God forbid you have an ambulance full of guys and something happens and they roll the thing, you have 3 guys out for who knows how long, and that's gonna eat up $10,000.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Plus, I believe if you go
Well,
out,
that would be workman's compensation, though.
yeah, you go out, then you come back for a month, you can go out again, right? On that 75%? There's no
Yes,
limit.
20,
Yeah.
26 weeks in a 12-month period. I
Yeah,
think,
Right,
is-
yeah.
right.
But you have to have doctor's notes. It has to be valid, you know?
That's easy.
I know, I'm just saying, like, that's,
It's
you
work in
know.
healthcare, trust me, it's not.
Go visit
No
Dr.
doctor wants to get sued.
Go visit Dr.
Yeah.
Summeroff,
Yeah.
and he'll sign it.
Yeah,
6
So
months
anyway-
later, Dr. Winteroff
Yeah.
will sign it. So,
yeah.
I want to go to that doctor.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine, that's a good question. So the next one here is Board of Health expenses, $150, which we want to take from the Sharps program because they had to get a bat out of somebody's house and get it tested for rabies, which they were not obviously anticipating. So I think the bill came to $214.
So metal or wood?
Neither. Living material.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I didn't think about that for a second.
Yeah, it took me a second too, and then.
Yeah, I'm going to a baseball game after this, so yeah.
Yeah, but we were thinking little things that fly around,
I
not.
was like, metal or about, like, is
Well,
there
the
some
Sharps
sort of thing?
program, we increased it during the year because
Yes, we
they
did.
weren't gonna have enough, remember?
We did, but she did renegotiate those prices
Good.
with the Sharps program.
And there's extra,
So now there's a little bit of extra in there, so, which works out.
yeah.
So photocopier, lease and supplies, there's a need for $250, which is gonna come from the admin expenses. Ed had determined, right before this, that we needed to get some more paper to carry us through to the end of the year. So that's for that paper, and then any possible overages for the month of June per our lease, so, because the contract per month is $251.92, and then whatever 3,000 or more copies they charge us,
That would be so easy here.
whatever they, so that'll cover that through the end of June.
Okay. Do you see much more coming?
I don't anticipate much more coming, that's why I tried to do as much of these ones at the end. So,
Take some paperwork to the account.
I don't, I think, I looked at the expense report today, and there wasn't much in there that, maybe utilities, because you're kind of unsure of the bill and what our net metering credits might be for this building. But we're pretty much on track.
How did winter roads go this year?
Pardon?
How did winter roads go?
Winter roads, we are still short, but I don't know where I can take some of that money from yet, so that might be one of the last ones that we do in July. Right now, there's $9,400 that's left in expenses. Not so much the wages were over, but it was the expenses. The salt, the sand, that kind of stuff.
And we're over by how much?
We were over, let's see.
Good, you probably should have it right there.
You have an expense report? Yeah. So here, let's see. Can
I figured I just did, yeah,
That's
so we
fine.
can kind of throw it out here.
So, original
9506. 9506.
road expenses 15. So right now, it's short $9,506.74, which I need to find that somewhere in here.
They don't have any other line item, sure?
He doesn't.
No?
He will be to the penny. Veterans benefits, I probably could take some of it from there because he's done finishing his benefits, but, so we added $15,000 and we're still $9,500 short. So it's like $25,000 or $26,000.
I got this. I got almost $4,400 there. It could,
Well, this is being used over here, though.
I know.
I'm just kind of looking ahead, that's all, because it's usually the big one that
Yeah,
pops
no,
up.
I moved
Yeah,
some
no,
of it
right.
from wages already, and that's what's left, and, I can take some from, like I said, I can take some from veterans benefits, which is whatever, $6,000. I still need like $3,200 more
How about
dollars.
Police, wasn't there some in there?
There might be some in wages, because he,
The transition and everything.
Yeah, the transition, and there's someone in the academy, which is on the next page, so we have to put some into overtime, but he might have some in wages too, and I don't want to take that quite yet.
Yeah.
Is the select board, you said?
They already approved those
we
one.
did that.
They already approved this
It
one,
was
that's why I
kind of
wanted to do them
used
separate.
Yeah.
So that's why I did them separate, because I knew they had already approved these.
Okay.
Are you looking for approval on these, or?
We do.
You want to do the
yes.
next set next? And do them all together, or do them separate?
What's the next set? Why is the next set separated?
Because these, the select board already approved last
One of
week.
them.
Okay, so,
I think we keep them.
so this is
separated.
$94,850.93 more, because we voted on the last meeting?
It's not.
This
Oh, no, wait, sorry, I got
No,
the, disregard,
no.
just disregard my brain, turned off.
21,000, I think.
Right,
No, it's probably
Yeah.
20,000.
What
yeah.
was this meeting? My notes are wrong.
Yeah, that one was 116-ish.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
calculated.
Did we have one previous to that too?
Nope.
No.
Why do I have one here saying 42,000 from the previous? Maybe I just only took one page out. Okay, it's together.
Oh, no. I think because I maybe said, no, can I see that for a second?
Just to point something out, I guess, should we be waiting?
Oh, this I did way right before the town meeting. That one we had already done before the town meeting, yes. Because we needed to move it in order to pay Ian.
So, okay, I misfiled stuff the other day when I was cleaning.
I'm not trying to take anything away because, well, she doesn't have it yet, but this health director's salary, should we waiting on the bills we actually have and use that towards the bills we have, like the highway or the winter funds?
You mean to not fund that?
Right, that, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there
Yeah.
because we have bills to pay and I don't know, we're not obligated to this.
Well, from a select board point of view,
Technically,
we feel that we were obligated because we got approved at the
Yeah.
meeting. Is
Okay,
that-
I don't,
It lessens our liability if
Yeah.
lost in court.
Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
okay.
Yeah.
The issue
I'm
with
not saying
that
she doesn't
is,
deserve it.
Yeah.
the issue with that is though, we can't pay her that until the Board of Health signs off and says, yes, we want to pay her this higher
Right.
rate. So you could move this money and they're like, no, we're gonna just stick and do whatever, like if they don't give me a PCF that says, yes, we want to put this higher rate in, I can't pay her that money.
The money's still there.
So the money's still there. So if that comes and goes, we can take it from there and move it to highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When's the final move? What day in July do we have?
15th.
To 15. Yeah.
So we close out then? Okay. No, 3 weeks away.
It's coming up quick, right?
Yeah, 'cause I'm
Next year,
off.
you've level funded them, so no matter what we do now,
Correct.
Yeah.
they may have the new salary, they may have the new wage, but they're gonna have to move around hours to make it work.
Well,
Yeah.
or do, yeah,
Yep.
whatever.
Or the assistant,
Yeah.
who knows what.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because they're the appointing authority, I can't technically pay her until they say, yeah, here's a PCF that has that new rate on
Do they
it.
know that?
They do know that
Okay, then, best you can do.
from,
We'll lead a horse to water.
Right. So you want to get a
Well,
motion on
let's see where this
separate?
goes, right, let's see where this goes. I'd like to see a motion to approve this one separately, number 2, separately, just because the select board has already voted on this one. So we'll keep it separated like that, I guess, so.
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You too. Motion approved unanimously? Oops, hogging it.
That's okay, I got a copy of it, that's, as long as you can see it.
you'll be all ready for tomorrow, John. So these I bring to you first, and then I will bring to the select board tomorrow. These are pretty kind of just cleanup issues. So the first one, I talked to the police chief, and his overtime wages are gonna be a little bit short, because he has, Officer Lamb is in the academy, so he's gonna fill that spot, and he might need overtime in order to fill his, shifts during that time. But it's gonna come from his police
He's got it
wages.
covered, yep.
He has enough money in there to cover that, so.
He also has a second candidate that might go, but not till after July 1, is that my
It
memory?
would be the next academy.
Next academy, which is the
Right.
fall, and that's
Yeah,
on
okay.
Allen.
So that won't, we
Yeah,
have to
that will
do
be the
it.
fall, yeah.
Right. Which is budgeted, I think, already.
Right,
Did we budget it?
yeah.
I think so.
That was one of the separate articles at the.
Yes, he was budgeting for overtime to cover when she was gone and to pay them while they're in the academy.
Yep.
Building inspector expenses, he needs about $800 to finish off the year for all of his travel that he does for training. So we're gonna take that from building inspector alternate, which if he needs an alternate, while he's on vacation, he pays him $40 in inspection. And then gas and plumbing expenses, we usually budget for the gas and plumbing inspectors to go to school and to get their certain certifications, and they didn't use all their money this year. We pay Tom $240 a month stipend for mileage for his inspections, but with his travel to trainings, we probably pay him another $250 a month.
A month?
$280 a month, yes, in training.
In addition to the
In addition to the
240.
240, yes.
So over 500 a month?
He has that much training every month?
He's out probably once a week in training.
Really?
At least once a month in training.
He's out a lot. He's out a lot. We
So
pay him a lot of
So we
money.
double his travel expenses every month?
Not double every month, but there's one that I have on my desk for $280.
Does that include the cost of the program, or is that just?
No, that's just the mileage.
That's mileage.
The program is $10, $15, whatever. So I was speaking to Ed about this morning, and, we pay him the $240 if you're out 2 or 3, 4 times a month, 2 or 3 times a month, and then we're paying you for the inspection mileage, because you're doing inspections. Then we pay you for mileage for travel. Are you like,
Yes, this.
is it a double dipping kind of thing? It just kind of has been weighing on my brain.
All right, well, let me ask this, does Westhampton pay him for this?
The training?
The mileage?
Why do we pay the whole thing? He works for Westhampton as well.
Well, he's our full-time employee.
But what he gains here benefits him in other communities.
Oh, yeah.
Correct, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Is it should be split in half.
If you have a full-time job and that pays you, and I have a part-time one, that benefits, I wouldn't expect the part-time. I mean, I hear where you're coming from. I'm just surprised it's that much every month.
Did he get paid like 55 cents a mile? Or?
It's whatever, 58 cents.
And the
Yeah,
federal-
Yeah, IRS regulations, yep.
So that's a lot of mileage a month.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going a ton and back 3
Yeah.
days during 1 week, it's
3 days during 1 week
sometimes.
for training? Oh. So maybe yeah.
And I'm not saying that they shouldn't go to training, but
I'm
it's
just
just,
saying it takes a lot of
it's a
time
lot
away
of.
from work.
Well, that's the thing, and so I don't know how to,
Is that required
Address
training
that.
yet, or is that just elective training? That's a lot.
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, the monthly trainings are required. I think this one was kind of.
Is this something he goes through you for?
No one goes through, it's one of the things I'm going to bring up, that
Yeah.
we might want to start looking at
An approval check?
approvals, yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's $3,000 a year extra,
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm thinking more of the time away.
that too.
I guess that's where I was coming from in terms of, if you're,
Secret Agent Mike?
hi.
Yeah.
If you're not here doing inspections unless you come on Saturday or Sunday because you're out doing training, like what do I don't know,
Yeah.
anyway, so,
Just asking. It's like-
yeah,
Good
it's
questions.
something that kind of I thought about, and I'm like, oh.
And
is
you
it
can,
double
you
dipping? Is it
can
not?
use that approval process to another point in time, and that's the fact that you can actually not approve it if they don't have the money in the budget to do it.
Well, that's why we
It's another
stop
double
it.
check, yeah.
Because
Right.
that's the law of what I'm supposed to
Yeah.
do. So if it comes and he doesn't have any money, we don't pay it. He gets it back. I gave him all those papers back that he had. I didn't pay $300 of stuff that he had. 'cause
So
I
he
didn't
already
have
did the
money.
travel.
He already did the travel.
So he's not managing his budget that way then, because he should know if there's money in the budget.
Yes, and I spoke to him about that,
So
so
what happens in that case?
doesn't get paid for the travel.
Can we do that?
And he has to go looking for money for it.
So that approval process, that sounds like it would be important.
Yeah.
You're right, it's got to get approved before, otherwise if you owe it, you're going to get sued for it.
Yeah.
You're donating your money.
Well, if you have an approval process and they don't go along with it, then you can say that, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
That's up to the select board to set up a approval process, correct?
Well, Ed,
Yeah, it would be a policy.
yeah,
For all travel and training?
You can do it that way, yeah.
yeah.
Right, not just.
You can't just say
Not
one
just him,
person.
yeah.
No, I guess I'm just saying all, not one person, but
Right.
all the
Right.
training and travel that everybody does.
Right.
Well, that way you guys know what days you're off, you're planning what days you're off, you'll anticipate how much the mileage is, you can see if it's in the budget. All
Well,
the
they're
costs, yeah.
department heads, and
Yeah.
that's what they're required to do by state statute, is
Yeah.
manage their budget and know kind of what's in there and what's not in there.
And so he's going over.
I agree.
So, because, yeah, because if we pay him $240 a month for, for just, and there's some stuff I didn't pay him for, because I didn't think it was relevant to being a building inspector, building commissioner.
And that's something, once we have the process, Ed would make that decision.
Correct.
I mean, I've had people in the past, because we pay for education, but it's got to be related. I have people, I want to get my nursing degree, well, that's great, but it doesn't help us here, so no on that one, you know, but,
Most people, they will give us, well, most of it should get paid through the town, so they shouldn't use their own credit cards or their own personal emails.
Yeah.
And we've told people that if you send me a reimbursement for training and it's through your personal email, I am not reimbursing you. You have to use your town email. It just can't, you can't be buying stuff on personal emails. It's just not, doesn't look good. And then we're gonna reimburse you that money. I just can't, I just don't think that that's prudent for the town.
Yeah, and everybody's got access to the webmail portal, so there's
Well,
no reason that
no.
they can't do it that.
No,
At least a good trail for you.
But that would be done by policy also.
Yeah.
Right.
that's done by my policy right now. It's not happening.
It'll just get out of control. if-
So, but most people will give you, so if people go through us and they pay for their registration, we have their registration.
Yeah.
It's, if they don't do reimbursements, if you send us and we pay it through our regular warrant process, there's no questions really.
yeah. Do we have like a Pro card or P card or something like that we can do that with?
We have, most of the time we cut checks because
Okay.
people will accept checks. We do have a debit card.
Yeah.
There is a process that we have in place for the debit cards that the expenses have to get approved first.
But if I came to you and said, oh, I just found out 2 days from now I need to go to this or I want to go to it, can we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
So it
As
works
long as
like,
you got the money.
Yeah.
as long as you got the money in
But
your
you have a
budget.
process means.
So they come to me, like I approve a warrant, like I do a bill before it goes out the door, which is how the state statute works. They fill out a form, they give me the backup, I sign it to say, yeah, there's enough money in your budget to pay. Then they'll give it to the treasurer and she'll transfer that amount of money before they can use the debit card.
Okay.
Because what happens is, when we first got it, people were using it and they weren't telling me. And
My wife hates it when I do that.
they were legal,
that's just one
they were legal, legitimate expenses, but that money is physically out of our bank account. We don't have it anymore. And so if I don't know about it and I determine it wasn't legal or legitimate, then we're out that money. And that means the town employee has to pay us back. So, there are certain things that you can only pay for online, and that's, So the next three are interest for water loans. What happens is we pay an administrative fee every year for these three particular loans. And we can only guesstimate based on the year before what that cost will be. And we were short a little bit in those interest pieces.
These are outside financial.
Yeah.
We're not paying our water department or something.
Oh, no, these are loans that we have,
Okay, with banks or
with
whatever.
I think these are
USDA.
USDA, two of these are USDA's.
All these back and forth are coming from the Water Enterprise Fund?
Yep.
Okay.
So they're all, one's coming from, there was extra money in water line number 3, debt anticipation, which we budgeted money for potentially if we borrowed some more, we would have to have interest paid on that particular loan, but we didn't borrow any money this year for water. So there's money left in there to, you know, to cover that cost.
Water commissioners have taken a look at this, approved it, or?
I did talk to Tom about it today, the water superintendent, so he's good with it. That's a good question. Then the last one is the library. Barbara overspent her library books by $188.82, which is unusual for Barbara, but she has money in her maintenance. I didn't want her to have to necessarily take it out of her gift fund, because her maintenance is going to be underspent by like $1,200, $1,300 this year, so. And, you know, it only looks better if we pay for more books than, you know, the exact amount that the library board expects us to pay. Like, there's a formula that Barbara calculates, and the town has to give so much money in us first to keep our accreditation so we can borrow within the CW Mars catalogs. This just makes it look a little bit, you know, better that we spent, you know, that 0.02% more than we should have, so.
Julie, for approval of these expenses?
Yes.
I see it. Make a motion to approve. Any question?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Just a non-related question. The COA van, is that got, it's wheelchair accessible? Is it the lift and all, or no? You know that?
I believe so.
Gotta be,
It
yeah.
has to be.
With the senior citizens and all this?
I don't know.
It's an FRTA van, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's from Frida.
Franklin Regional Transit Authority instead of
Look at the
PBTA.
side of it, I've never paid that much.
Yeah, it does. I've seen
Yeah,
someone get
that's
in.
right too, because it had a broken window in it, now I remember that.
I've seen
it's
someone
got-
get in and
it's
out,
got-
yeah.
I work with someone whose father is a resident, and they're saying, oh, next time they're trying to move them and they're having troubles. I'm like, I think the van is available. You just have to time it with your doctor's appointment, so.
Yeah.
But I said, I don't know if it's got a chairlift or not.
It does.
It's gotta have, yeah.
I would assume so, but, okay. That's good.
So I have one other thing for you guys. I don't know if you remember when we were here last and we were going over the library PCFs. And I was gonna check to see if, which we didn't write a note on, and Barbara and I should have, and we didn't.
Retroactive?
It's retroactive.
We voted on that already
Yes,
and re-signed
okay.
them before you
Okay,
got here.
all right,
so.
gotcha. I wasn't sure if you had them or not, so I just wanted to double check,
Yeah.
so.
They've initialed them, I've got tomorrow night's
Okay,
select
yeah.
board meeting
Because
notes.
Barbara and I had that discussion, we just didn't write a note on it, that that's what it was for, so.
Yep,
But I just wanted to double check, so
already taken care of. So.
that way we can, in this
Almost, I
next
think.
payroll, we
I
can do
think
that.
Humison, that $800,000 grant.
No, it's not a grant.
No.
See, you guys do this to me and just,
Well, I think that's what they're talking about.
no, that's part of one of the bond bills. It would be one of those, so, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I might have, obviously I'll have one more, probably July 15th is the last time, and I am gone from the 6th through the 11th, so it might have to be on the 15th. Maybe we need to do
Do it.
which is a Monday, which I think Ed mentioned last week. I don't know if we can do just a joint meeting just for transfers,
Yeah, the
the
15th.
15th, you
Yeah,
know?
if we need it, yeah.
July?
We're gonna need to do snow and ice, because I didn't cover that in here, because I
Oh, you
didn't
didn't?
have any real good places to take from it.
Oh, okay,
So I wanted to wait till people spent like all the wage pieces.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the 15th would be fine. Do you want us to schedule it tomorrow night?
That would be helpful.
How does it look for everybody's schedule here for the 15th?
That's fine.
Okay.
Should be fine.
That's a Monday, 5:30? or
Yeah.
joint-
Yeah, 5:30 is fine,
what-
or
what
6
joint
o'clock
with
works for you
at
guys?
6?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine.
So we
Well,
meet downstairs.
what would be good if we can transfer our meeting from the 16th to the 15th and not have two meetings? Because I'm not going to be here on the 16th, I just said.
15th is Monday?
Yes.
15th Monday. So we can bring that up tomorrow. We have a meeting on the 16th for the select board, right? Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't, I'm sorry.
Ninth and
That's the
20
off week, yeah.
9th and the 23rd.
Okay, so I'm wrong. So we don't have to do that. So we can just meet on the 15th.
Can we put it first on the agenda?
I think that's the only thing on the agenda.
Okay, yeah.
So
So
6
we
PM?
can meet at 5:30 if you want, if we're just coming for
That would
that.
be great for me. That'd
Yeah.
be better for me, but
Well, if it's good for you, John, I'm there for you.
I gotta look out for everybody.
That's fine by me.
Where do you want to meet? Downstairs then?
Yeah, probably. If you're gonna have, 2 or 3 more, 3 or 4 more people.
So, okay.
So our next meeting is going to be July 15th at 5:30.
Yep.
And downstairs or something?
Yeah.
If it's going to be a short meeting, think you can arrange ECAT or for an hour meeting, or is not even an hour meeting, I wouldn't think. Probably
I
not.
can,
I mean, we could meet up here.
Worst case scenario I know is Robert's going to come over and record it.
Well, her point would be good. Why don't we just have it up here?
Because we can just
And
record it.
right here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good idea.
I mean, we can all fit around this table.
Yeah. There you go.
Good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping in, Vicky.
Yeah, All-Stars, so
Oh, really?
they're already 2-0, so
Oh, good.
Where are they playing?
they're playing at Conant
Oh, here, okay.
at 6. Yeah, they're playing Westfield, which will not be easy, but
What age group?
11, 12s.
Oh, have fun.
Better get over there. 2-0 in our
Those days
favor?
go by too fast.
Huh?
2-0 in our favor?
Yes, yeah, they beat Easthampton 18-1 Friday
Well,
night,
that's a given.
and then they beat Agawam 5-4. They were losing 4-1 at the top of the 5th, and they won 5-4 at
That
the
was
end.
quite
Nice.
Sounds like the last two Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give up an out, and someone hits a home run, so you can't give up those extra
Yeah.
outs.
That's a 2-game elimination, right, to get out of that?
I think so.
I think you keep going until you lose 2.
Oh,
I'm
good.
trying to remember
think
what
so.
happened last year.
It's been a few years since my
Yeah.
son. It's been like 5 years.
John, you want to start feeling old?
Yeah,
Remember the days?
remember those days we
Uh-huh.
coached? Yeah.
Today is the 24th. Okay.
Coach together.
You get hit
Oh, yeah.
by a pitch.
You got hit by a pitch?
Knock me to the ground, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Never
ask
been
you.
the same ever since.
Actually, help me. Straighten me out, John. Thanks for
Have a good night.
See ya.
How's it going?
Okay, so
All right.
back to new business, liaison reports.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with new business and reorganizing officers and board liaison positions. Just a couple, I'll make a quick couple comments. Typically, we elect, as you know, a chair, clerk, and
Vice Chair.
vice chair, correct. And then we also go over liaisons for CPC, Personal Procedure Board, Hampshire Regional, and Norris School. Last year, we really had nobody for the Norris School, but we did have Hampshire Regional School Committee person. I was on the CPC, which I enjoyed, and I would like to do again, but it's up to everybody here. Gloria was on the PPVB, and you expressed that you may
Interest in a school committee.
interested in school committee instead. So those are just things that we have to kick around. I don't know if anybody has interest or not in
Which
any of
school
these
committee?
things.
Doesn't matter. I mean, Norris would be my first choice, but Hampshire, I just I'll get to know the process better over there at the schools. So if you have a choice, or I'll stay on PPP, if someone else wants the school committees, I'm not.
I sat on both committees, so it doesn't matter to me. Whichever one you want, I'll take the other one.
I gotta tell you, just from a select board point of view, I think we need somebody who's could be both of you, dedicated at the Hampshire Regional, because we don't often have reps that speak up there and look at our,
Town overview.
not what I can say, that's good, but I was gonna- don't look at our issues.
But I don't think we have a voice up there, we're just
Well,
sitting
everybody
in.
has a voice. You can't have vote.
Right, I know that's not
you can-
voting, but.
But you can talk.
Do you want Hampshire
Just
back?
like I don't vote.
Yeah,
Which one do you feel
You-
stronger?
you-
No, it does not matter to me. I'm renewing to the school committee stuff, so I have no problem
You
staying.
take your pick of whichever one you want, because I've been on both those committees. So I can sit with either one.
North then.
Okay, you want Norris? I'll take Hampshire Regional.
So Tom, what does PQB sound like to you?
I don't know.
They meet Thursday night. It's actually, it's good, cool.
Thursdays, I've got commitments, at least 2 Thursdays a month.
That's not gonna work for you.
Do you meet every Thursday?
No,
No.
every other week during the busy season, every third, fourth.
Yeah, there would be Thursdays I couldn't do it.
When does the Hampshire Regional School Committee meet?
It's only
Once a month.
Once a month also.
I don't know that there's an exact day. I know I go, is it scheduled on a certain time every?
And just,
For some reason, I was thinking Mondays, but I could be wrong.
I can't remember.
and just
If you want Hampshire Regional, maybe Hampshire Regional, I'll take the
I
PQB.
wouldn't know anything about it. I mean, I think you want to have,
just so you know, the CPC and the Policies and Procedure Board are both voting members as well. You're sworn in and you have a vote on their committee.
Yeah.
The other two, no vote, you're just a listener.
Well,
Or you can speak.
You definitely can speak, yeah.
Yeah.
That's key on that.
I can stand the PPP if it's easier. It does not matter to me. I'll just attend a school committee meeting every now and then, as long as there's no quorum.
I'll take the PPPB.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
But that'll leave open.
I would love to take the CPC again,
It seems to be your fit.
but if somebody else wants, arm wrestle me for it.
There's nothing to say that we can't sit in on
Don't make
it.
it too easy on them. I'll get you back.
No, however, if somebody else wants it, speak up, so.
I'm gonna put all 4 names in a bag and you all pick one. How's
It's
that?
getting down to that.
Well,
It
like we
doesn't-
did last
So
year.
you would like Norris? You would like CPC?
Yes.
Again, I need the 2 of them that are left. Again, it's between Hampshire Regional and PPPB.
Right, what we can do also, Pat, if you want to take the policies procedure, you can take that, and then we can leave Hampshire as floating. What we did last year with Norris School, we left it floating, and if I could make it, I went to one, or if somebody, we knew it
Yeah,
was coming up.
we'll leave it floating, because
We-
if I'm available, I'll be glad to make it.
Right, then that's what we did last year. I had gone to a few meetings myself, just because there was nobody else going, so,
So Hampshire is the floating one?
yeah.
By the way, it's air conditioned up there too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they appear to be on Monday nights.
Right, Hampshire,
do you meet up at the school?
You have Hampshire Regional and Library second floor.
in the library, yep.
Okay.
I think it's 7 o'clock too.
PPPB is on
sounds right.
Thursdays.
So,
Thursday, 6 p.m.
Yep.
There's a meeting this one.
And CPC is on the first Wednesday of every month.
And that's interesting because we're going through teacher and para contract negotiations.
And the first meeting for them is supposed to be this
This
week.
Thursday.
This Thursday?
Mhm, I'll forward.
I hate to say this, can't make it.
I wasn't gonna make it this one.
You don't have to make it to every single one.
No, I'll forward you
Is it this Thursday or next? I thought it was next Thursday.
this Thursday.
Is it?
Yeah. June 27th.
Forward me their schedule so I can,
Here it goes right now.
bingo. See that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you have to get sworn in. And how did you remove me?
Huh?
I was just sworn in May for another round of PPP, so Lucy has to know.
Whoever is the clerk should notify Lucy of...
Oh, I'm the clerk, okay.
Yeah, the new assignments. At least those for the voting members. Which would be the CPC and the PPPB.
When does Norris meet?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to find that out.
Wednesdays?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Would I have to get re-sworn in for CPC? Or just,
I think
or no?
when you got sworn in for this position, you probably got sworn in at the time.
Well, I didn't have
If
to.
it was a one-year term, probably would have to be.
Okay.
Are you familiar, Tom, with the My Southampton webpage with all the calendars and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll get sworn in for the PPPB.
Yes.
Yes, because that's a voting member.
Okay, it can't hurt to get it done anyway, just in case, I guess.
Okay, so motion that, let's see,
I was just going to say, because if you wanted to stay with, you wanted to do the school committee as opposed to doing the PPPB.
You guys decide what you want, and I'll go wherever. I think we're coming to names and not right out of the hat. I can go to the school committees and just view on the side. I can go attend if I want. So it does not matter to me. I just want to sit there and see more of the process this year, but I don't have to be the liaison for that. So whatever fits better for your schedules, I'm
I
flexible.
just don't know when they meet. I mean, I live like literally 5 minutes away from Norris, walking. So,
Can you go look at the calendar?
but yeah, I can't do Thursdays. I can't do Tuesdays.
So PPP is not a possibility for you then?
No. What's the website?
My Town Southampton, is that what it is? Is that right? Am I saying it right?
Let me see if I can find it.
Something like that. If you put Town of Southampton, Mass, and they'll put Mass because it gives you New York first. I'm on vacation. People say, "Oh, where do you live?" I say, "I live in the Hamptons."
All right. Calendar. Let's see. My town government.org.
Okay.
So the next meeting is, well, it's today. Oh, I'm sorry, no. That's April.
That's actually not on here. Is it?
Fourth Wednesday of every month.
It
Okay.
is Wednesday. So I thought,
6 p.m. on the fourth Wednesday of every month at the Library of the Norris.
Okay. Do you mind? Because I could,
No.
that would actually be easy
Okay.
for me to get to.
So,
you can grab Hampshire.
yeah.
Okay. Make a motion and.
How often does Hampshire meet? If Hampshire meets on Mondays?
Yep.
Mondays, yes.
Once a month?
Yep.
Yeah, once a month.
I'll have to miss some here and there for our
Just have
meetings.
to avoid, yeah, see what we can do to avoid that.
Otherwise, you're taking minutes.
I'll make a motion that Jonathan be appointed CPC. Di Patchbond be appointed PPPB. Gloria be appointed to the Hampshire Regional High School. And Tom be appointed to the Norris School Committee.
Yes, a second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. All right. Reorganizing officers. Does anybody want to be the chair?
No. You've tried.
Motion, Jonathan be appointed chair.
I will do it.
Second. All in favor?
I will do it again. Unless somebody else wants it. But,
Apparently not, John.
apparently.
Well, he's been trying to give it to me since the day I walked in here.
I keep threatening her, but, you know, I kind of got railroaded into this spot, and it's just kind of going with the flow, so.
You do a good job.
So, okay, I will accept that. Vice Chair? Anyone step up for that?
What's the vice chair do? Didn't even know we had a vice chair.
If I'm not here, yeah, it was, Sharon was the Vice Chair. If I'm not here, somebody else runs the show. Pat?
Well,
Gloria?
depends what I'm following.
I didn't miss a meeting last year, if that helps any.
I'll take vice chair. I've run meetings
Okay.
before, so it'd be easiest for me to step in there.
Perfect.
Thank you. I'm the newbie here, so I'll sit back and watch.
Oh, be careful with those, because those, I got walked in and they handed me clerk.
Well, they already did yours, they voted for it.
Yeah, but John, is there like a black cloud hanging over the Labrie name, by any chance, health-wise lately?
Actually, I believe there is.
Just kidding.
I spent a lot of time on my back in the ER this weekend, so. Some kidney stones to deal with. so-
Oh, geez, I've
Yeah.
had those. Don't.
Yeah.
I feel for you.
I think it's worse than childbirth.
So let me back up a little bit then. We'll go back to the chair. I will accept that. Let's just re-vote on that. We'll just do them one at a time. So let's get a motion again for the chair, please.
Make a motion, Jonathan be appointed chair of the Finance Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?
There was no discussion there.
Now we need one for Pat, for the vice chair.
No, clerk. Okay, motion made to accept Pat as the vice chair of the finance committee?
Second? Can I second?
If you want.
No, why not?
Sure. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're not going to vote?
You can vote.
Usually it's already been voted
Did you
on.
vote?
Yes, I did.
Go ahead and vote. That way I can just write unanimous. Let's make these minutes easier. Yeah, you're off.
Yeah, the only time it becomes an issue where you shouldn't vote is if you've got stipend positions and it means more pay to have that, then
We get paid?
Yeah.
The conflict of
But in
interest
this
laws
case,
kind of
where
step
it's
right
all
in.
zero, yeah, it makes no difference.
Yeah, we're getting double from last year. We got raises.
The Ethics Commission, I know each other well.
Every time I just saw two today from the IG's office of stuff like that, and I read them and said, are people that dumb? You know what I mean? Yeah.
But you've seen some of the stuff that's been done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The last one is the clerk.
I won't fight anyone for it. No.
Where's the point? Gloria?
Second.
I like that idea.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
I
All right.
think there was a smile during this whole process.
Could be worse. We could be on select board.
Yeah.
That's hitting below the belt.
Well, what's worse is when someone was on select board and goes on the finance committee after it keeps going.
That's progressive discipline, John, don't worry.
But I gotta say, there's a bit of a history there, so but maybe John's gonna.
So I said,
follow you
progressive
around.
discipline.
Yeah.
I think you guys are having fun comparing some of the old days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Just a wee bit.
All right.
Organized liaison reports.
Liaison reports. Anything from the. See if I have my notes on the last one here.
That was a meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't going on? At the CPC anyway, there was not much going on. We did meet, talked about the finance stuff, but it wasn't really, what's the status of Harlem road purchase. I know they talked a little bit about the parking area and stuff up on the new Glendale piece with Randall. And trying to get him to do something also over in Pomeroy Meadow also.
It's all done.
It is all done already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we closed on Pomeroy Meadow on Friday.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
Are you talking about the 15, 16 acres?
14.4, yeah.
14 acres?
Yeah.
Number 68, yeah.
Okay.
And the parking lot got done okay?
Parking lot got done. The only thing left now is to get the sign up, which Kurt is working on.
Well, I saw the signs down, so I figured that you were successful.
So there wasn't really much going on.
Okay.
Just under the wire. Still sweating bullets trying to put everything together.
The
Just
people,
side commentary, one thing I still see sitting out there is what Vicki said, and that's the $9,400 for the winter roads that I think we gotta kind of stay on top of too. Where are they gonna be taking that from?
Right, well, we should know by the 15th, and she'll be in touch with us between
Yeah, she'll
then
be.
also.
They should have enough in their salary accounts.
And plus,
I know
if you look at
Randall's
the
short.
expenses, a lot of them are under. so-
He was short an employee, I think, most of the year, so he should have a salary fund that's
Yeah.
abundant.
Yeah.
If we looked at the expenses.
Yeah, that'll be in there, yeah.
What would that be?
You'll find I hate surprises.
Oh, probably not.
You're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
That's why I like these reports. I actually do read them.
Knock on wood, they've been very good department heads keeping to their budgets.
So his general wages right now are at 89.59%, which
What is it through? What's it say?
June 20th.
June 20th.
Okay.
So we should be up around 96%, so
Yeah,
there's going to be some money there
yeah.
in that fund anyway. Looks like there's a balance of $20,000 still.
Okay, so that's not looking like it's gonna be a major.
Should not be.
Nikki would have warned us. She thought it was going to be something coming big, big.
All right.
This is when the town accountant has all the fun, the next 2 months.
All right, we already scheduled next meeting.
Yep.
There's almost 1.3 million left in the general fund to spend between now and middle of July. I mean, I know there's wages and that are all going to be in there, but
The idea isn't to spend it, it's to save as much as you can, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. The old mentality, you're right though, spend it before you lose it.
Yeah.
This year, the department heads have done real good on keeping right on the money in most cases.
Paying attention to that next year is kind of important because if they have been really good, I hate to slap them next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big part of that number is the wages for the school. They'll hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've settled, so we gotta pay them retro now, so that would be a decent chunk.
Oh, they did settle? I didn't.
Doris did?
That's my understanding, yeah.
Oh.
Because, yeah,
Really?
'cause-
I thought it was in mediation or
no, I
friction.
think they settled, because Jen was in talking to Vicki while I was in there today about how to do the retro and record it, so.
Okay.
Was it already budgeted for?
Yeah.
They budgeted, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as what they ended up with negotiation didn't exceed what they budgeted
Budgeted
for.
for,
All
right.
right.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to go over?
Nope, so July 15th.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
you're a pro at this.
Thank you all.
You're a pro at this. You know when to get those motions going. Works for me.